I wanted to make a video comparing the Zephram Cochrane we see in the original series episode Metamorphosis with the version we get in the movie First Contact, so naturally I sat down to watch Metamorphosis and note down the differences. That video idea it's now dead, or at least delayed, because having now watched it, all I can focus on is Commissioner Nancy Hedford, specifically how the episode doesn't even treat her like a human being with her own thoughts and feelings. Let me give you a brief summary of the episode. Kirk, Spock, and McCoy are escorting Hedford to the Enterprise because she has some kind of deadly illness and they need its medical facilities. A big, angry cloud of hydrogen appears and through the power of space magic, pulls it down gently onto a presumably nearby planetoid. On the surface, they meet Zephram Cochrane, inventor of the warp drive and oldest man with a full head of hair. Apparently, the space cloud, which he calls the Companion, has been keeping him alive and young somehow. Again, space magic, don't worry about it. He reveals it brought them there to give him some company, but what he really wants is to leave. A series of ill-advised escape attempts ensue, something space warp drive, something electrical interference, all pretty standard stuff so far. Throughout all this, Commissioner Hedford is getting closer and closer to death, and we're getting more and more information about how the space cloud loves Cochrane, but Cochrane can't love it back because, it's a space cloud. Then Kirk tells the Companion that it can't really have any real relationship with Cochrane because it's not human.
Maybe if she loved him, she'd let him go.
By the way, Kirk uses the pronoun she for the cloud because the universal translator said so, and Kirk claims that male and female are universal constants that all species adhere to. That's a whole other can of worms, but suffices to say that's nonsense. I'm not going to get into it in this video. In any case, that's when everything gets all screwy. The Commissioner, who moments ago was on the verge of death, walks outside perfectly healthy. She has been possessed by the space cloud.
Those you knew as the Commissioner and the Companion. We are both here.
After a bit of confusion about the logistics of possessing a dying person, Zephram, quite reasonably, backs away from them, being horrified by the usurpation of Hedford's body. Kirk takes some time to explain that you can't simply steal a person for your own benefit, and how the Companion must allow them all to leave in peace. Though saddened, the Companion agrees, expressing hope that Cochrane will choose to visit it again someday. No, I'm just kidding. What really happens is that the cloud possesses Hedford, Cochrane goes on a date with it, everyone accepts the cloud just owns Hedford's body now, and the three main guys get out of there. I'm sorry, they what? They didn't make any kind of effort to save the Commissioner. They just left her there and let her be possessed by basically a space ghost. That's what happened here? That's what we're going with? Really? Gene? That's the deal? That's what's happening here? Apparently that's what's happening here. The Commissioner gets no say in her being possessed, and nobody stops to ask if it's what she would have wanted in the first place. The cloud didn't exactly get permission first. It makes some vague comment about them being joined, but it sounds to me more like Hedford is watching through her own eyes as the Companion takes total control in silent horror as she no longer has a will of her own. Basically, she just got Locutist. And it's only after saying that out loud for the first time just now that I realized it sounds like a really bad Star Trek pickup line. If you were a Borg, you'd be the Locutist drone in the collective. Anyway, yes, this woman just got Locutist. Not a single person questions the morality of the situation. Not a single person is concerned about Hedford herself. Bones asks what they'll do about the war she's supposed to prevent, and you know what Kirk says?
Well, I'm sure the Federation can find another woman somewhere who'll stop that war.
What? The only thought they give to her as an individual is how easy she'll be to replace. I'm sorry, I cannot get over this. They seriously let this woman get the I have no mouth and I must scream treatment, and we're supposed to accept that this is all on the up and up just because she was a little sad earlier that she didn't have a boyfriend?
I've never been loved. What kind of life is that?
First off, Jean, that's not a justification. Getting a boyfriend, who by the way Hedford knew for like 5 minutes and didn't even seem to like, is hardly a fair trade for being possessed by a space cloud. Second, she was delirious with fever at the time. Even if she did actually want to stay, you could hardly take her word for it until she'd gotten some medical attention. She was highly career driven, and if after this she wanted to focus more on her personal life, that's fine. That's her prerogative. But she didn't even get a choice. Just to remind you, at the start of the episode they were a few hours away from getting her the very simple treatment she needed to save her life. It was the Companion that held Hedford on the planet until she died. It was only after she died and the Companion got what it wanted that it deigned to release the rest of them. Somehow this is supposed to be romantic? It could have ended with everybody surviving and Cochrane and the Companion getting over their inherent differences and forming a relationship. That would have been weird to see a guy date a space cloud, but Christ, it would have been better than this ending. Does Zephram Cochrane have no compunctions about forming a physical relationship with an entity that murdered a woman and is using her corpse as a meat puppet? That's all fine? Oh, sorry, I forgot for a second. She isn't dead. In fact, she gets to live a good 60 or 70 years more in a body that's no longer her own, forced into a relationship with someone she doesn't know, and never again being able to leave the desolate wasteland that is this planetoid. Do you remember Sub Rosa, the Scottish space ghost episode? This episode is like if they thought the ghost there was the good guy. Imagine if Sub Rosa ended with Ronan taking over Geordi's body, continuing to manipulate Beverly into leaving her life's work, and then Picard just goes, well, I'm sure we'll find another man somewhere to fix that leak in engineering, and the Enterprise just leaves because Geordi's always looking for a date and now he has one, so it's all okay. That's basically what just happened here, and that's apparently a happy ending. As Kirk, Spock, and McCoy leave the planet, the romantic music that's been playing this whole time fades into some heroic music for the end of the episode, indicating this was a job well done.